All right, here's our video today, system of equations on the calculator, the TI-84. And I'm using the plus CE. So let me write that down, the plus CE. And if you just have the regular one, the silver edition, it should work just as fine. Also, it's usually a capital I. Fix that. All right, so let's look at a question. Let's say, and by the way, you can do this in like an Algebra 1. They have two equations for system of equations. But when you get into Algebra 2, you can have three equations, and you can also do this method same way. So let's say let's get an equation going. A system of equations. So we have 6x, let's say, plus 12y, and we'll say it equals negative 6. So that's one equation. And then we have another one, 3x, say minus 2y, and equals negative 27. So we can do this by hand. We can do it the elimination method, or we'll just put it on the calculator and get the answer right away. So let's do that. All right, and the first thing you want to do is find the apps button, which is right here. So there's the second button. Apps is right down there. You hit the apps button, and then you're going to hit 9. Let's bring that up. And you can hit 9, or you can scroll down to 9. And so over here, 9, by the way, this plies SMLT, it just means a polynomial root finder, and simultaneous. That's all it means, if you're wondering what 9 means. And so system of equations are simultaneous equations, right? So hit the 9 button, right? And then you're going to hit the 2 button. That will pop up. Hit 2, simultaneous equation solver. And then you'll come to this screen. So again, you're hitting the apps button. You're hitting number 9. Then you're going to hit 2, simultaneous equations, right? And here they are. And if you're solving 2 equations, you're going to highlight 2 equations, as you can see there. Let's get the pen ready there. Right, so I highlighted 2 equations and 2 unknowns, right? So we have the x and y are the unknowns, and we have 2 equations. Now, if you had 3 equations, like you'll do in Algebra 2, or if you're in college algebra right now, you'll hit 3. Just scroll over to 3 equations, and so forth. All right. Well, by the way, when you do scroll over to the number of equations and the unknowns, make sure you hit enter. So don't just scroll over to the number 2. Hit enter so the computer is programmed. Let's go back real quickly. Right, so here I have 2 equations, 2 unknowns, and I hit enter for the 2, hit enter for the equations and the unknowns. Okay. So just to review so far, we hit the apps button, we hit 9, we hit 2, right? We got here, and we put in 2 equations, 2 unknowns. And once we do that, we're going to hit the graph button. So hit the graph button, and you come to this screen. So let's write the equation here. So when you're doing this, so we said that our equation was 6x plus 12y, and you can see I plugged it in, equals negative 6. And we had 3x minus 2y equals negative 27. So you just scroll over. It's very important that you keep the signs, right? So here we had 6, then I'll scroll over. It's going to scroll to, when you put in the 6, you don't scroll over. You put in the 6 and you enter. It's going to go to the next line here, right? You want to make sure it's plus. In this case, you want to make sure it's minus. So you notice has a minus 2 over there. So that would be plus 12y. And don't forget, it's to put in the minus 6. In this case, negative 6. And when you do negative 6, make sure that's the negative symbol. You can see that right on the bottom of the 3 on the calculator. Right, negative. So you plug all this in. So again, remember, you hit 6, enter. It's going to come over here. You're going to put in a plus, enter. You're going to put 12, enter. Right? You're going to put in negative 6, enter. Then you go to the next equation, 3, enter. And remember, we have a minus sign, so we're going to put minus, enter, 2, and then negative 27 on the calculator. Right? And then press graph again, and there's the solution. Now, I did say you can do this with 3 equations. You do the same process. When you come to the equations, though, you do 3 unknowns and 3 variables, and this will pop up, and you just plug it in. And be careful when you do 3. If you don't have, sometimes they trick you, there's no x. And if there's no x, just put a 0. Leave it at 0. And sometimes there's no x or a y. So that's doing 2 equations and 3 equations on the calculator, the system of equations.